Hey everybody, let's take a short ride while I try out a chin mount as opposed to the chest mount that I normally use. The chest mount leads to a lot of audio issues because of the cables and the routing and things like that. So we're going to try this, see how it ends up. Make sure I got the microphone or the camera. Hopefully I got the camera aimed right. And I don't like to use helmet cams because my head's on a swivel. I'm constantly looking for traffic and things like that, and I hate to have your guys' view end up looking like this. So I always like the chest mount because it's more stable, but it does make it hard for me to like point things out and say, hey, look at that over there, without grabbing a hold of the camera and physically moving it left or right. And that creates its own set of issues with the audio. And even with my old video or setup, you could always hear a sudden burst of wind noise throughout the videos. I always tried to edit that out. What that means is I just moved my head and looked left or right. If I'm looking straight on, that center microphone does really well, but as soon as I turn my head to the left or right, then it starts picking up all kinds of wind noise. And with this one, I'm going to have to ride with the visor open all the time, kind of defeating one of the advantages of a full-face helmet. But since I'm used to open-face helmets, shouldn't be a problem. That's a problem. I hope he turns off before we get to the mountain. Because I don't want to be stuck behind a truck going up the mountain. Stuck behind a truck and a bus. Yeah, with the chest camera, the audio issues I'm experiencing is static popping noises, and I don't know how to get rid of them. Everything I've tried has failed. I've tried taping all the connections so nothing moves. I've rubber bands holding plugs in, everything. Just nothing works, and I've scrapped an absolute ton of video because the audio isn't worth it. And I've still got a video in the editor that I might end up scrapping it just because my performance I'm not really pleased with, let's put it that way. I went back down to Gearhead Junction. I was meeting a friend down there who was going on a ride, so I was going to ride with him for a little bit. And just while I was there, I kind of walked around, talked about what I thought of the bikes. But I really didn't like the way I came off as a presenter. So I don't know if you'll ever see that video or not. I might go back down there and reshoot it. I don't know. I've got a little bit of another issue. My car is broke down at the moment. And if you know what I do for a living, you know I'm a delivery guy and I need my car. But I have to wait for some parts to arrive so I can do the work on that. Should be here tomorrow. Got to have it ready to go for the day after. So I'm gonna have about an afternoon to work on my car in the heat. I have to wait for the parts to arrive, which will be 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Which brings me on to another issue. I'm going to have to move here in the next month or two. That house that I live in, I've lived there almost 20 years, but we're going to have to move. And the house we're moving to doesn't have any overhead cover for the bike. So it's going to be sitting out in the elements. and that's just got me kind of worried about what to do with it. I hate to have this sit out in the weather and disintegrate, so I'm trying to come up with something. Selling it is last resort. I'm not looking to get rid of the bike or anything. But business-wise, it would be advantageous for me to buy another bike as opposed to replacing my car, just due to the cost, the upkeep, and the cost of replacing. This isn't ideal for that sort of thing, so it's not really an option to use this as a backup vehicle. Like I said, I love this bike to death, but it is more of a toy. So I've got a lot going on. And when it comes to what things cost and things like that, it shouldn't be an issue. But I have actually been fighting the IRS for about 2 years now because they owe me money and they won't give it to me. So all of the tax credits and things like that I get to take advantage of with the car, I don't get to take advantage of because they won't give them to me. They know they owe me the money, they just won't release it. So that's really been something in my craw, because they're holding me up on doing a lot of things that I want. I was going to take a week-long trip. I haven't had a vacation in years. I was going to take a trip to visit my family, but I had to cancel that. So lots of little bullcrap going on right now, so if there's any lull in the action, you kind of know why. And I might run down to Gearhead Junction anyway, because they want to make like a loop so they can have events there. You know, have like a big cookout thing in the parking lot, everybody meet up, go on this ride, come back, and then there'll be like nearby camping and stuff like that. So I might go down there and help them establish a route, check out campgrounds and things like that for them. See how that goes. And I got to work on my video format and presentation too, because one thing I've noticed is I can go out and make as nice of a video as I can, put a ton of effort into it, and it hardly gets any views. And I know a lot of you enjoy it, but just due to the view count, I see that I have a lot more subscribers than the little bit of views that the videos are getting. But if I just walk out of my front porch, film a 5-minute video of me bitching about a part or something, it gets all kinds of views. So I don't know. Videos I want to do don't make any money, let's put it that way. So I'm gonna have to have a bit of a think about that sort of thing. We're at the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I'm just going to go up here, turn around. We'll end the video here in a second. I'm just testing out this camera and microphone setup with this helmet. Seeing if I think it's doable. I might really cut down the amount of riding footage I do. Or at least, at least POV riding like this. just use kind of this footage as more B-roll, and then do like voiceovers and more in front of the camera type stuff, because I find this type of video boring to watch personally. So I don't like doing it, but it is easy to get, so that's why this format is the most popular that you see on YouTube. You see more videos of just helmet cams and things like that, because the footage is actually easy to get, as opposed to setting up tripods and microphones and things like that, moving around, coming back and pick up the cameras, microphones, all that stuff, bag everything up, move on, set it all up again. It takes a long time. It takes, on average, I timed it once, it's like 8 minutes just to get a drive-by shot. You know, for just, 2 or 3 seconds of a bike passing by, it takes 8 minutes just to get that one little shot. So we'll see what we'll do. Like I said, this was kind of a test, and I was going to ramble and kind of update you guys on what's going on. So stay tuned. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Hopefully everything works out. Take care.